and it goes straight to the sports park, which is fairly new as well, which is by the Orchard. So, I just wanted to go over that briefly. I know all this was like so crazy, but, I mean, I'm not like a mentally ill person or like someone living on the streets. You know, sometimes when I look at all this stuff, or I try to talk to people who are spiritual or Christian or whatever, it doesn't even matter. I just have an easier time talking to like heathens and pagans because they're open-minded, whereas the other religious sects have been so hard to talk to people when it's just insane, because you have only a part of the story. You don't have the whole story. And if you had the whole story, then you would be free. And they do not want you to know that, because you would be free. So these people, especially around here, they need to go get day jobs. We're gonna do some more videos. As soon as my team gets together, we're gonna do the videos outside of the church, but we need to wait until I have my bodyguards there. But truly, these people, if they wanted you to be free, then they would be telling you the rest of the story. Then how come you can't ask questions at church anymore? How come you can't just be like, well, what about this, and that? And they're like, you need to find somewhere else to go to church, or like, you know, whatever. And you're just asking, like, well, what are you leading from? You know, what foundation are you working with, or what Bible are you reading from? The people that are running this church in town that are just like basically doing all this stuff that I used to be a part of, they know who I am. They know what I'm gonna do, what I've been sent to do, what I've been doing. And what's crazy is that one time we were sitting in church on a Sunday, it's just like 3 years ago, and the pastor just started like crying in church, and he was like, there's someone in here, this is like a, you know, prophetic word that he was doing. So if you think I'm fucking crazy, this is the church that I was going to. And there's like thousands of people in the town that go to this church, and people will defend this church like it's, you know, like their blood, you know? And in some sense, your spiritual family is more important than your blood family, for sure, but that's not what I'm talking about. So he starts like bawling, he's like getting like worked up, and then Travis starts bawling and crying. He was like, there's someone in this building right now that you're supposed to be in my church, and I wish you would just leave because you're gonna make my life a living hell. And he starts like crying, and I bet you every single person in that church was like, oh shit, is he talking about me, you know? But I was probably the only person in church that knew he wasn't talking about me. But I am gonna make his life a living hell, because we are in hell and we're gonna get out. And so at the time, I remember my husband and I left, and we were like, wow, it was, you know, weird. Well, I know he wasn't talking about us, because I wouldn't go to a church unless I knew that God wanted me to be there. Like, you know, some people have a hard time talking to God, or a hard time receiving information from God. That's not me. I have had so much close communication with God in my life that it's come to a point where I've been like, and people around me are like, what the fuck is up with you? What's going on with you? You know, like, why is this happening to me? Don't come around me because weird shit happens, or, you know, whatever. It's just, I want to get into like so much weird things that have happened to me, like so many things in my life, but it gets to be really crazy. But just as an example, for instance, I don't know if I've shared this before, but as far as me being in communication like with the source, one time, this was in 2004, I was on my way to like a women's retreat up in Northern California, Oakhurst, I think it was Oakhurst. And I was late, you know, I drove my car up there separately, and when I was leaving, I was packing my stuff. God's telling me, I'm hearing the Spirit tell me, like, pack these clothes. They were all like, you know, like my wish clothes, like size 0s and 1s and 2s. At that time, I was like about like a 4 or 5, and I was hoping that I would be able to fit into those tiny clothes again. And I was not going to ever. So, but I had been keeping them. People come over, I always had clothes. I had like over 100 pairs of jeans when I was in high school. It was crazy. So my parents cleaned people's houses, so I got given a lot of clothes. But I had all these tiny clothes, and I heard the Spirit was like really pushing me to pack these clothes in a separate suitcase. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. You know, I'm running around like Chicken Little, you know, and then trying to figure all this stuff out. I'm not gonna pack all this stuff, you know. I'm crazy. This is just me talking to myself, and I'm not gonna pack all this weird shit. Forget it. And I got to the women's retreat. I pull up. They're all doing like a challenge course, you know, hanging from rafters and shit. And so I go in, and it's like dinner time, and this real sweet blonde lady goes up. She's like a size 0. And she just starts crying and saying how blessed she was and how everybody just showed her so much love because her suitcase got left and she didn't have any clothes. So everybody is like, oh yes, you know, they're just having a totally different experience. Me, myself, I'm having a, you know, a different experience than them. I'm feeling like I failed not only God, but I failed this lady. You know, if I would have just done what I was told, pack the suitcase, she would have clothes. But because I get tired of being crazy for God, I didn't do it. And I felt like that wasn't necessarily for me to looking back on it, I can see how that was preparing me for recognizing when I hear a source, a divine source. Because, you know, like sometimes I'll wake up and there'll just be a word on my mind. Like, I just wake up, and on my mind is Alpha Centauri. And I'm going, what is Alpha Centauri? You know, I knew it was a star system, but I couldn't even find it because I didn't know how to spell it correctly, but it was in my mind. And then William Henry's new search, all his new research is about Alpha Centauri. But this is 2 years ago this happened to me. That's all right. So just like with Joan of Arc, you know, I woke up and God was saying, well, I want you today to research Joan of Arc. And this is 2 years ago. So I spent a day researching Joan of Arc. And what I found was everything linked to Visalia and the House of Burgundy. Hello. Does anybody know about the House of Burgundy and Joan of Arc and the Duke of France? And we have, like, right on this grid is a gigantic apartment complex called Burgundy House Apartments. And it's grapevines and shit. I mean, come on, you guys. So anyways, I just try to go, you know, to lead by that. And there's been times where I haven't listened. And I've had to pay the price. I've had to, like recently, I'm going to talk about this. Because this person's going to watch this video, and that's fine. Because this has happened several times where I have taken people to these sacred sites and they've defiled them. And it's gotten to the point where I'll like talk about it in front of people and then they'll do it anyways. They do it anyways. I don't know if they do it to like in your face, I'll do whatever I want, or they don't know what they're doing, or they just feel entitled. I'm not really sure. But here's what I know. I have taken several people to several sites and they've thrown their cigarette butts on the ground. I'm like, really? Even after I've asked them not to. Like, when I'm looking away out of the corner of my eye, I see them try to cover it with dirt, you know, like, so that I won't see it. You think their groundskeeper is not going to come over here and be like, there's that dumb bitch that makes the videos, bringing people over here, throw their fucking cigarette butts on the ground. You don't think that they're going to know that that was me? So, I get upset. But this last experience was, like, the big one for me. Because, I feel drawn to lead particular specific people. And some of them are the people that people don't like. Because God has asked them to walk through specific circumstances that most people cannot empathize with. And I understand. I understand that the people who we are, the people that I'm talking to, the people that are waking up, we haven't been the run of the mill. We've been chosen to walk through difficult situations because that's who we are. And so we can't go then turn around and, you know, convict or condemn or bash or name call or label people that have had to walk through that and come out of it. Isn't that what is supposed to be happening? We're supposed to be coming out of the wilderness. Why then would you hold that over somebody's head if they've come to you for help? You know, because people come to me for help. and other people have sabotaged. So where I put my hands in to help I've brought other people in, and then they just like make chaos out of the situation and wait for the pieces to land, and then they say, well, this is all God. Well, no, if you read the Bible and you read the book of Romans, you will learn that no, you don't do bad things so that God can turn it to glory, and then you go, well, it's all to God's glory. That's not what you do. You don't do that. So I take these people to this pyramid, people know who this is, to the pyramid grid in Ivanhoe, and there's people that take care of the land, and they live on a trailer on the side of that pyramid, that volcano, and there's orange groves, and I mean, if this was really a pyramid grid, then this would be sacred land, right? I mean, if you believe it's a pyramid grid, then it's sacred, right? Okay, so let's just go from there. And the people that live there had a stack of firewood, and the firewood's just stacked there. Of course, I go there all the time, so I know that that's a new stack of firewood, and that it's going to rain the next day, which it wasn't expected to rain, but they're always outside with the bonfire, and the people that take me there know them, and he actually lived there. And so, I see them, they've always got their fires outside. So we get up, and these women that I'm with, they just say, open the trunk, or open the van, load up that firewood. Let's go, let's get it, come on, hurry up. Get it, come on, go, get it, let's go, get that shit. And I'm sitting there going, and the girl who I do feel like this information is for her, she looked at me and she said, do you think that's okay? And I said, no, I think it's stealing. That, so-and-so says, go, get that. She does what she's told. And, I'm just watching this whole thing. I'm going to watch, because some people think they're witches. And real witchcraft is when you let people set up their karma when Saturn's in retrograde, so going through Scorpio. So I just let the whole thing fucking shake down. I was like, that's cool. Go ahead and take it. Saturn's running through Scorpio right now. It's not my karma. It's not my karma. Then they proceed to throw their fucking cigarette butts on the ground, just like I had just told them that somebody else did. So I come to a point where I'm just like, I don't want to take anybody to these places anymore. Who is supposed to go with? Who? Because it's like every time I think that I'm set up to meet somebody and then I take them there, it's like, really? You're going to steal? So you're going to take this firewood from this, first of all, you're going to take trees from sacred ground. You're not going to give anything back. You don't even give tobacco back or anything back. You just take from the land, put it in your car, you drive away, because you take it home to put in your fireplace in your fucking house because you think that you need it more than the people that live in the trailer. So have a nice double karma while Saturn is in retrograde, because that's what happens. When you steal from these places, when you defile them, that's what happens. I don't have to worry about it. I'm not worried about it. It irritates me and I get frustrated, but I'm not that worried about it. It just frustrates me because I don't want to take any more people there, and a lot of people want to go. So it just has to be on the internet, and if you know where they are, you find them, then you can go. But people sit here telling me that they go to these sites and they meditate and God speaks to them. He didn't say anything to you about fucking stealing. He didn't say anything to you about throwing your cigarette butts down on the ground. He didn't say anything to you about taking trees from sacred land that you believe is sacred or anything like that. So it just further pushes me into a space where I'm like, am I the only one? I can't be the only one. Like, I'm sort of holding on to hope that, like, I'm not the only one that's going through this. Brooke Fraser is going through the same thing that I went through. She's written most of the worship songs in church that people love. Next time you're in church, if you're in church, look down at the bottom where it says the name. It'll say Brooke Fraser. Now, she's doing all the same research that I'm doing. So I know I can be the only one. But who are the queens of California? You need to look into what the caliph is and what that actually means. So Mahdi is Mary, and Marisol is Marisol is Mary, son of Mary. It's all the same. Madison, Marisol, Marisol, Mahdi is Mary, is the Mahdi. People don't want to hear it, and the Muslims are going to reject their savior the same way the Jews rejected theirs. It's not because it's not the savior, it's because you're misguided. That's why. So that's just my little spiel on what was kind of going on with Visalia and just with me personally. Obviously, I move forward. I never stay still. Everybody knows that. Call me the tornado, Tony Tornado. I go in circles everywhere. So, you know, I'm moving forward with this. I don't have a choice. If I try to pull back, it gets like stronger. Like more things start to be drawn to me. If I try to leave this town, weird stuff happens. Like Mad Aon did a whole video with me mapping out my city using the same grid, folks. I mean, this is not like, it's not an accident. Do you think that like Mad Aon, the band, Mad Aon, like saw my videos and wanted to copy them? I don't think so. This is just what's going on right now. It happens every time, right? Just like the song says. Okay, so here's the other one. So there's the first one. These were in my videos, my very first videos, you know, Stargate Occult and all that stuff. These are all in those videos. So this got drawn in later, but if you go to Mad Aon, Pay No Mind, and you're on it, there's the actual videos, and then there's behind the scenes. So go to the behind the scenes and listen to what the director says, and they show you them putting my diagram up. It's not mine, it's somebody's Stonehenge. But this is what I used to find the grid in Visalia 2 years ago. And then the guy says that the video is a message to these two, that and the cubes, which represent the stars, are reacting to them to let them know that they're on the right track. And that the tower wants them to solve the puzzle of the tower as much as they're drawn